Hi guys, it's Cindy Greenway here from HotSkillsVATraining.com and VAFormula.com. Have you ever had that situation with a client where you're feeling, I don't want to work with this client anymore. They're not happy with anything I do. They're frustrated with me. I'm not doing anything right. They have no confidence in me. You know, I've run into that situation a couple times over the years, and it's tough. It's really tough. I think the worst thing for me is feeling that someone that I'm working with has lost confidence in what I do, right? It makes me lose confidence. Then all of a sudden I'm tiptoeing on things, actually screwing things up more than I was before, and nobody's happy, right? So there was a situation that happened, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I think you can relate. And if you haven't yet, if you can't connect to the story, I guarantee you at some point you're going to be able to, because it happens, I think, to all of us. You know, because we rely on email so much, and texting, and Skype messages, and, you know, all kinds of, you know, non-verbal messages, things kind of get lost in our communication. Now, there's been a few situations where I've been with clients where, for whatever reason, I wasn't meeting expectations, and they were not happy with what I was doing, or so I thought. You know, the emails that were coming back, the words that were used in the emails coming back to me really made me feel like, oh, this person is not happy with me, or oh, I just really screwed this up. And it felt bad. I really didn't like it. I felt very insecure to the point where I thought, oh, okay, relationship's over. I don't want to work with this client anymore. They don't want to work with me anymore. And I'm laughing, you guys, because, you know, that was kind of just my own feeling at the time. You know, I was feeling really kind of grim about it. And I'm laughing because it was all just fine later on. In one particular situation, I remember coming back to the client and saying, you know what, listen, we need to talk, because I'm really feeling that I'm not meeting your expectations right now, and I'm very discouraged, and nothing sort of wrecks my ability to do good work than feeling that my client no longer has confidence in me. And so we talked. And you know what came down to the bottom line, guys, is that because we had addressed it before it got really, really late, before things went on for a long time, we were able to identify that, you know what, it really wasn't that bad. It was, yeah, some bad days, and yeah, things weren't really done according to what they probably could have been done at. But because we started that open communication, we were able to sort of fix that little bit of damage and kind of reconstruct and move forward. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that happens sometimes in our relationship with our clients, is that, you know, we have ill feelings, or we shoot emails back and forth, and we don't have that sort of verbal communication that allows both sides to express, you know, their frustration or their concern or anything like that. And that's something that I'm hoping that will be a bit of a learning lesson for you guys, is that, you know, if you run into that situation, if you're lucky enough that it doesn't come up, great. But if it does come up, that you address it earlier than later. Addressing it later could be where the damage has been done and there's no going back, right? In most cases, it's fine. You know, things happen, we're human, mistakes occur, misunderstandings happen, but if they're not addressed, that's where it starts to crumble. So the next time you're feeling like, oh, you know, I'm not too sure this client's on board with me anymore, or they don't seem to be as satisfied or as happy, or that I'm meeting their expectations, you know, just shout out to them and say, hey, can we just touch base? You know, I'm really feeling that, you know, we need to connect. I'd really like to clarify a couple of these pieces. You might be feeling really upset, you might be feeling really angry, but if you don't address that, then it's never going to go away. So if you deal with that situation, just have the guts, if you will, to come forward and say, hey, let's talk about this. And maybe you can come to the table with some solutions ahead of time, or saying, you know, I really need this to come from you. Or when you have a request, I really need the deadline to be included in order for me to tell you, yes, I can do that, or no, I cannot. Or here's another date that I can do it by. You know, just having that open communication. I always recommend that you meet with your clients once a week. And that is verbally once a week, you know, via Skype or by phone, even for 10 or 15 minutes, just so that you guys can just digest everything that's happened. Okay, this is all taking place. Here's what's coming up next. Here's what could have been done a little bit better, and so on. And then if a situation arises where, you know, you need to have that conversation in between, then you do so. All right. So I just thought I'd share that tip, guys. It's really, really important to make sure that our communication with our clients stays strong, because in this virtual world, it can get lost or miscommunicated because, you know, sometimes just different emotions or different situations emails can kind of create a little bit of trauma. So it's Cindy Greenway signing out for now. VAformula.com and HotSkillsVATraining.com. Post below, guys, if you can understand what I'm referring to here. If you've gone through a situation, feel free to post your comments and your thoughts, and I'd love to hear from you. All right? Thanks.